Welcome to the Marlboro County School Board of Education regular scheduled meeting, February 5th, 2024. Mr. Flowers, will you please give us the invocation, please?
Yes. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this day. We thank you for all the blessings in life. As you just guide us and direct us as we conduct the business for the Marlboro County School District. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Okay. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I get a motion to call to order?
Call down, sir.
Have a motion to call school board meeting to order. And a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. Marlboro County School Board of Education regular scheduled meeting is now called to order. There's been notification to the news media. Now we need approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
Have a motion to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. All opposed, there aren't any. Agenda is accepted. Okay. Points of celebration, National Board Teacher Certification.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Dr. Tiller, members of the board. It is an esteemed honor and a pleasure for me to present Marlboro County School District's newest National Board Certified Teacher. And just before I present her, I want to give just a snapshot of what National Board Certification entails. National Board Certification is recognized as the gold standard in teacher certification. It was established in 1987 as an independent nonprofit organization working to advance accomplished teaching for all students. It is built upon 5 core propositions. Proposition 1, teachers are committed to students and their learning. Proposition 2, teachers know the subjects they teach and how to teach those subjects to students. Proposition 3, teachers are responsible for managing and monitoring student learning. Proposition 4, teachers think systemically about their practice and learn from experience. And Proposition 5, teachers are members of learning communities. In order to become a nationally board certified teacher, teachers have to exhibit their knowledge in content knowledge by completing a 45-question selected response test, differentiation in instruction, where they have to actually submit student work and they have to analyze it to show that they are differentiating instruction in the classroom. Competency 3, teaching practice and the learning environment. They actually have to videotape themselves teaching a lesson, sit down and analyze it to look at whether or not they are implementing the best practices in instruction in that lesson. And then competency 4, they have to be an effective and reflective practitioner. And so with all of that being said, it is an honor and a pleasure for me to present our newest National Board Certified Teacher, Mrs. Angela Luffman, who is a 5th grade gifted and talented teacher at Bennettsville Intermediate School.
Congratulations. Next on the agenda, we have the Character Education Student of the Month Award.
Good evening. Chairman Coachman, board members, Dr. Tiller, and guests. I am pleased to introduce the Character Education Student of the Month for January from the Bennettsville Primary School and the Marlboro County School District, Mr. Joshua Ayala. Joshua is a second grade student in Miss Julie McCoy's classroom. Mrs. McCoy said of Joshua, "Having good manners means you know how to be a friend. You help others, you are a good listener, you are kind, you say please and thank you, and you take turns." Joshua Ayala exhibits all of these traits. This is why I nominated him as a Student of the Month for the character trait of manners. Joshua shows good manners by helping others. He is always the first one that will step up and help the adults as well as his classmates. You don't even have to ask for his help. He just steps up and knows what needs to be done and does it. He helps the teachers by passing out papers, cleaning up the classroom, and he also helps other students by opening items and getting the things that they might need. Joshua listens in class and he participates in group discussions. He uses his manners when he speaks by saying please and thank you. He also says he is sorry when he needs to say it. Joshua has many friends and he takes turns playing with them. On the playground, he will also push other students on the swings that are not able to do that themselves. At home, his mother shared, "He's always willing to help me bake and make homemade tortillas. He wants to add the flavor to all the food. He always finds something to do to help." Joshua is very kind, and he is a student that is a great help to everyone. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I present to you the Student of the Month for January for the character trait of manners, Mr. Joshua Ayala. We got Joshua and his family. Joshua and his family, come forward, please. There you go, shot.
Chairman Coachman,
Yes, sir.
board members, Dr. Tiller. On behalf of Blenheim Middle School Discovery, we'd like to recognize Ricky McDuffie as the secondary district student of the month for January. Ricky McDuffie is chosen for student of the month for my grade 6 class. I can count on Ricky to do the task assigned to him. He takes the initiative and does extra to help me check the attendance of the class. He also volunteers to help his classmates with some difficult tasks in math. He shares his talents with other kids. He always wears a smile and brings joy to the group. He is sweet and friendly, but he is also honest to tell when others are doing unnecessary acts. He makes sure his homework is complete. If a student needs help, he is one of the first ones offering to lend a helping hand. Ricky is attentive in class. He is respectful and courteous to teachers. He does his work on time and makes inquiries about the lesson whenever he doesn't make it to the class. He comes to school regularly and attends Google Meets or e-learning class. He submits his work on time and most of the time ahead of his classmates. Ricky McDuffie, please come forward.
Up next is firefighter 1 state and national certification.
Mr. Coachman, school board members, Dr. Tiller, it's a definite privilege to be here tonight to do something that, we had a little pause on, Dr. McLeod. We had, last time I was before you and Mr. Flowers, we got to state level, but we didn't get to the national. Well, we changed that tonight. And I think we've kind of come full circle, so everybody knows. This young lady in front of me is why this program got started. And it's been successful, and we're getting back on track. And I hate to tell you, but I got 2 school board members sitting over here I taught the same program to. I think we are moving forward in careers with this type of activity. And so I want to recognize this young man. I want him to come on up. Come on up, Cobra. I'm going to call him by what I call him, not his birth certificate name, which Cobra is on his birth certificate. This young man completed 171 hours of training in a school year last year in school. And I think if his mama was here, she would tell you it probably kept him in school. And when we came back, I waited because I understood the academy policy a little bit better. If he were taking this test in the summer or right in the school, he could have possibly, if he didn't do well, he gets a retest, but it'd have been a 3-month delay. And I held it till we actually got ready at in December. And he passed it first time.
All right. Great job.
Mr. Coachman, this gentleman's also in the Wallace area, so you need to realize that.
That's right. That's right. It's back at it. Back at it now.
So Cobra, I'm gonna give you all your certificates you've earned so far. Hazard material awareness ops, hazard material awareness firefighter 1, and the one that counts. This young man wants to be a career firefighter, and this little certificate with that little seal right there just opened the door for him.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Cobra.
Next on the agenda, we have the Blenheim Middle School of Discovery Beta Club completion. Competition. Appreciate the help.
Good evening again, Chairman Coachman, board members, Dr. Tiller. At this time, we are going to recognize Blenheim Middle School Discovery Beta Club. In January 17th through 19th, they went to Myrtle Beach and they competed in the state convention. They competed in 23 categories. I stand before you proud to say that these students either won or placed in 17 of those 23 categories. They had 10 first place finishes in 8th grade. They finished first place in 8th grade math, 6th grade math, 6th grade science, 6th grade Spanish, 7th grade Spanish, 6th grade social studies, first place woodworking, first place sculpture, first place apparel design, and first place large group performing arts. They had 2 second place finishes, that's in 3-dimensional design and service learning. They had 3 third place finishes, 8th grade science, 8th grade social studies, and 3rd place in Songfest. They also had 2 fifth place finishes, 7th grade social studies and 6th grade language arts. Many of these students have qualified for the National Beta Club Convention, which will be held in Savannah this summer. So Blenheim Middle School Discovery Beta Club, please come forward. We have our Beta Club sponsors with us, Ms. Spride, Ms. Heslop, Ms. Jen Wright, and Mr. Edwards.
We have one student that is missing from the Beta Club that's not here tonight, Ms. Cassidy Emmanuel, and we have given her a medal so that can be given to her parents. So let's continue to pray for the parents because she was a sweet, very smart, and bright young lady. To the Blenheim community, good job on the Beta Club, and let's continue to pray for the family of Ms. Emmanuel. Thank you. There you go. Marlboro County High School girls wrestling team. Doing some wrestling stuff up here now. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tonight we'd like to recognize the girls wrestling team at Marlboro High School. It's our second year in existence of having a team, and we won the lower state tournament, first place. And guys, this is really big because it's not just 3A. We competed against 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A. Over 40 teams were represented, and our girls won first place overall.
Whoa.
Okay, 8 girls competed in the tournament for us. We had 6 state qualifiers, which they will compete on February 23rd and 24th for the state title. And when I call your names, the state qualifiers step forward. Sarah Locklear, Gabby Murillo, Haley Duncan, Katie Roscoe, Mary Williams, and Janisha Armfield. Coach McMillan couldn't be with us tonight. He was under the weather. And my name is Coach Nicholson. I'm the assistant coach. And these girls did a great job just to improve like that over a 2-year period.
So you saying they get ready to compete for a state title?
Yes, going to the state title in 3 weeks.
Awesome, young lady. Awesome job.
Job well done, ladies.
Put a P in it first instead of plaque. Okay, I want to make sure. Okay. Next on the agenda is the Marlboro County High School Black Ice Drumline. That's awesome, good stuff here tonight.
Greetings to Mr. Michael Coachman, Chairman of the Board, board members, and Dr. Tiller. On Saturday, January 27th, the Black Ice Drumline, part of the Mighty Marching Bulldog Band, what I call the heartbeat of the marching band and the concert band. They traveled to Richland Northeast to participate in the second annual Richland Northeast Drumline Competition. There were It was 9 participating drumlines there. They did an excellent job performing. The routine that they did, they created themselves. They got together and created the format of it all, so it was all their creativity. They put in the work, and on that evening, they received the following awards. They got fan favorite. The crowd loved them. They went wild. Wow. They received best bass drum line and second place overall at the competition.
Awesome.
Is this the same group that did the Christmas thing that I attended at the Civic Center? They were outstanding. Oh, I want to applaud y'all. I was very blessed to be in your presence. It was amazing.
And they did, as you were at the basketball game on last, was it Thursday? Tuesday. Wednesday. One of those days. They performed their routine there at halftime. It was wonderful. Very proud of you all.
All right, let's give it up and congratulate all our students. Next on the agenda, I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss personal matters, hires, and resignation.
Mr. Chair, I move that we go to executive session, discuss personal matters, hires, and resignations.
You have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing any? All in favor of going to executive session, discuss these 3 items, let me know by raising your right hand. We are now in executive session. Session. Now we have a motion to go back into open session. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. We're now back in open session. Okay, what we have next is
Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Moses.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I recommend that we accept the 3 certified recommendations presented to us by the superintendent.
3 certified resignations or elections?
Election.
Motion to accept 3 certified elections. Have a second.
I second it.
Any discussion? Yeah, any? All in favor, let nobody raise the right hand. Motion has been accepted. No resignations at this time at all. All right. Okay. Where we at now?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from January the 8th, 2024, regular scheduled meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from January 8th, 2024. Have a second.
I second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from January 8th. All in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. Any opposers? There aren't any. Motion is carried. Okay. Now we have the Marlboro County School District. We have a proclamation. Miss Wendy Woods. Got the excuse though, trying to get the eyesight back straight, Miss Woods.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Wendy Woods. I'm the County Service Coordinator at the PD Coalition here in Bennettsville.
Right.
And we're here, and I have Miss Katrina Taylor Stevens. She's our victims advocate. And this proclamation is about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And she will read the proclamation, but again, we just thank you all for allowing this for the month of February. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't say, and we didn't say, that we're so proud of what we saw tonight. You hear what I'm saying, Marlboro County? It was a beautiful display of what our county and our parents and our teachers and our administrators are doing. And everybody needs to know what happened tonight. It was beautiful, beautiful. So we thank you.
Okay. So we have a you got something?
I'm gonna read the proclamation.
Okay, there you go. Read it out.
Okay. And the proclamation reads, PD Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Assault, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month Proclamation. Whereas 1 in 3 adolescents in the U.S. is a victim of physical, sexual, emotional, or verbal abuse from a dating partner, a figure that far exceeds rates of other types of youth violence, and whereas intimate partner violence often begins in adolescence, with 25% of male and female survivors identifying their first experiences of intimate partner violence as occurring during teen relationships, and whereas working with youth to help them build social emotional skills such as empathy, respect, healthy communication, and conflict resolution skills promotes the development and expectation of mutually respectful, caring, and nonviolent relationships. And whereas engaging teens and adults to promote social norms that support healthy relationships has great potential to transform our communities so that teen dating violence is not acceptable and everyone has access to the tools to intervene when they witness teen dating violence. And whereas we must work together to create a world where every teen can live free of dating and sexual violence in their homes, schools, colleges, universities, and communities. Be it resolved that the Marlboro County Board hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month in Marlboro County, adopted on the 5th day of February 2024.
All right.
Look, we love to take a picture.
Awesome.
But in the work that we do, you all, we see the other side. We see the other side.
Okay.
Of what happens in Marlboro County, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a beautiful thing to see what we saw tonight, that chances are, if they keep doing what they're doing, they won't ever come to our doors and need our help and everything.
And that's what our hope is, that, I don't mean any harm, that my position becomes obsolete. Okay?
All right.
But we thank you all for what you do, and it's a beautiful sight to see tonight, beautiful sight.
Thank you, thank you. Do we need a motion on this, or we just sign the proclamation? I want to do it right, make sure it goes into effect.
Well, Mr. Chair, I move that we accept that proclamation.
Motion to accept the proclamation to call today, this month, Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month of February. Do I have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known and raise your right hand. Motion is unanimous. Now let's take a picture.
Thank you, thank you.
All right. I'm gonna make this challenge kind of easy right here. We have the second, and could be final reading, for all our policies. Hope everybody studied the second reading of policy GCMD through GDR. Mr.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve the second and make it the final reading
All right.
of policy GCMD through GDR.
Motion and a second to accept the policy that Mr. Thomas just stated. Being that we've studied over, I think we had them long enough. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? There and any, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye or raising your right hand. Raise your right hand. It is unanimous. That meeting, those
$7,000
readings have been adopted.
$7,000
All right.
donation.
Okay, now we have Principal Johnson. How you doing today, sir? All right, nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yes, sir.
I do here, good evening to everyone. I do here have a check from the Schaeffler Group out of Fort Mill, South Carolina, in reference to STEM in the amount of $3,500 for Marlboro County High School.
And that's the first part, the next.
Okay.
They're supposed to give us a second part at some time.
That's correct. This is the,
7,000 total?
In total.
yes,
That's from the Schaeffler Group?
that's correct.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Johnson. Appreciate it. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
do we have to accept that? We do, don't we? Is on the board action?
Yeah.
Mr. Coach?
Yes, sir. Let's
Mr.
take,
Mr.
let's
Coach,
accept the money.
I move that we accept the $7,000 donation to the Marlboro County High School from the Schaeffler Group, although we're just receiving part one, but we want to make sure that we get it in now. So I do make a recommendation that we accept the total $7,000.
We have a second to accept, on that money, to accept the $7,000 donation from the Schaeffler Group.
I second it.
All in favor, let it be known, raising your right hand. The motion has been accepted. All right, now we have the superintendent's report.
We would like to present to you this evening the A3 Communications Company. They're gonna come and share some weapon detection type of products with us.
Good evening, Board Chairman, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Tiller. I bring you great pleasure to bring before you tonight A3 Communications as we work to continue to enhance our security and safety portfolio, we want to make sure that we're uplifting our task to review and implement the best practices and technology for Marlboro County School District. Currently, we are working with A3 in support of our security cameras, surveillance systems, and door access district-wide. Tonight, they're going to bring before you a product and service that offers weapon detection for our school district. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Scott Reeves and Ms. Sarah Donahue, and they'll take it from there.
Hello, I'm Scott Reeves from A3 Communications. Thank you for making time for us this evening. This is Sarah. And we actually have been with A3 for some time. We work with several school districts in the state for their security requirements. And tonight, we're happy to let any of you come take a walk through and see the weapons detection system, get familiar with it, as well. And Sarah's going to introduce some basic ideas around the system as well. So, yeah. Well, do you want us to present over there after the session, or how do you want us to proceed?
You can just,
What-
you can just share it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share it, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to show you how it operated, or if you just wanted me to speak on it. What would you prefer?
Both.
Both, okay. So, well, Chaya is a company that has been around for 60 years, and they make the open gate system. They also do all sorts of other detectors. They are what you see in TSA at 95% of the world's airports. They work with DOD, Homeland Security, the White House, which they cannot publish, the Vatican, NHL, NFL, MLB. You'll see Chaya products at all of these facilities. And so they designed the open gate system specifically for high throughput traffic. And that you can get up to 2,500 people through a detector in an hour, depending on the settings. And so they've also been designed to be utilized in schools and universities and things of that nature as well, to prevent safety, anything of weapons of mass destruction, being prevented from being brought into the schools. The open gate is 25 pounds per tower, and it is portable. It does come with an option for an adapter, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the portability of it. You can set them up. They're ready to go in about a minute, which makes it also good for also random screenings, things of that nature, football games, graduations, and so forth. So, you want
and then if anyone would care to step over after the main session,
Let's see.
So if I got a good on me now, it'll go off?
settings right now.
I have them out so I didn't know if I could start to finish basically, but they run on these batteries. I have 4 of them in here. They can last for 8.5 to 10.5 hours. And then you just turn them on like this. You do.
So it synchronizes to begin with, and you'll see it synchronizing, then you'll see it turn green, and then it's ready for operation at that point in time.
Will it pick up keys?
So well, that's a good point. It's really designed for fast throughput.
You don't only got a right to have a gun in right now. Everybody else got one. You can
have it on a setting that makes it a traditional metal detector, but for purposes of entry into school, you have it on a different setting to pick up large frame handguns, large knives.
You got 2 guns.
Or compact guns, things like that. But you can drop it down to a lower setting, like if you want to do a random screen, and pop it up outside the classroom, you can pop it up, put it on the lower
You
setting.
didn't have anything anyway. What about the cell phone? So I have cell phone, and this is the product I brought for this. You didn't pick up your cell phone? The keys don't list.
For
the ones we have in school right now,
Yes, so it's not a traditional metal, it depends on the settings, you can change the settings in an app.
We can change, yeah, she's saying we can adjust the settings to get as detailed as you want. Depends on what you're trying to detect.
Yeah, and your district would have to decide what you're trying to detect. And then,
Doc, you wanna go through that?
You got your cell phone.
Let me see what you got, let me see what you got in box. Go through that. We home it tonight.
That saves having the cell phones, the keys, they don't pick up
you
my
don't have
keys.
to, no.
So the way it also works though is certain devices will cause a weapons detection will go off, and one of those devices will be a laptop. So what we typically do is we'll have a table beside the weapons detection system and have the folks turn the laptop in over here and then go through the system and then they connect them over.
Just picking up what we want to do. What they call us?
That might, that'll probably say.
But basically, it will not be.
So Chromebooks,
Right.
Yeah, so what they do is once the student comes through, may I see that, sir?
talk about Chromebooks.
So if a student is coming through, you would have somebody, either a table right here or somebody standing here. They take the Chromebook, pass, keep running through. If they go, set the detector off, they need to go to the side for secondary screening. And then,
That's usually a one screen.
and so you could do one screening or, you know, go through their backpack or something like that.
When I held it up high.
So, and, but for the random screenings, like, let's say you hear of a threat, you can take these, pop them up outside of the classroom, and then you tell the students, stand up, don't touch your bags, and walk out in the hallway. You have this set on the lower setting that makes it a metal detector. And then run them through while a security team is searching their bags, but we recommend using a randomizer. We're doing that so you don't get accused of profile.
Both towers must be there.
Yes, so there's serial numbers on the towers right here. They are a married pair, and so they have to stay together. It doesn't like it when you touch it. The transit side is right here. There's the secondary tower, which has the S and the red dot right here, and on this one, it's a green M down at the bottom for main tower. And so the batteries, they run on one at a time, but when one trains, they automatically fall over to the other one. And then 8.5 to 10.5 hours, and so, and it.
This would, if you have both
Put
batteries.
this on the rapid charger right here, and it can have it charged within the hour. So if you want to keep swapping them out, you can do that and keep them running as
So
well.
the secondary side over here will run for up to 5 days on full batteries. This will run for roughly about, 10 hours, 12 hours. But there's also an electrical adapter that we could run to the device.
So you saying 5 and
Yeah.
this one 10, but they got to be together, right?
Yes. So typically what we see is people will buy the batteries and they'll also buy the power coupling and put this side close to an outlet, like we would run an outlet right here to this device. And then you would have,
If you keep
up to
them
5 days.
stationary.
Yeah, right.
If you were to keep them stationary,
Yeah.
then you can use the adapter so you don't have to mess with the batteries. But, and, you can always do both options as well. If you want to make them portable, that have batteries in them, or you want to keep them at the front door, you can just plug them right back in.
So what about, price point?
We presented an earlier version of pricing to the director that we're working with Chris, and Chris has that information. We can also update that for you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So you're welcome.
All right,
If there are any last minute questions, we can answer for anybody.
Well, I do. My kids go to school every day with their laptop in their book bag, so it's going to go off when they have their laptop in their book bag. I could see where this would be useful at like a football game, and you got a bunch of people going in and out. But I don't really know what the difference is in what we already have for our kids going in with their book bags with their laptops already in them.
Well,
They need to have their laptops out when they come in, and then they pass it around, and then they can keep flowing through. They don't have to take their phones out, their keys, and things of that nature, but they would need to just have their laptops out and pass it around, and then the flow, the whole point is to how
You're right, though, all metal detectors work on that principle, they all will be set up with a laptop.
Right.
and I think Mr. Johnson was working in Marion, and they had the same system set up. Again, Mr. Johnson, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit, how the system worked for you guys when you was using it?
It did help with the flow, because what happened, the kids knew to take their computers out, and they had to go through with their book bags, and it really helped keep the flow going, and also deter kids from trying to bring stuff inside the bag, because now we're actually checking each bag now, and so the process is a little slower. But now when they know computers in hand, I don't have to worry about keys or cell phones. When they go through, it keeps the flow going, and that helps. With adults have to keep going, checking through bags. You know how kids are when they come down to, whatever they keep in their bags, along with all the other clothes and some everything else in there. But it does help, and it's really, but anything, if a computer's in there, it just set it off. And if anything of the nature, if it, big pocket knife, things of that nature, guns, I've seen it detect those things, because we used it the past 2 years at Marion.
Okay.
Is it sensitive enough to pick up the vape pens?
You can put it to that sensitivity, but it's not.
If you put it to that sense, it's not, it'll pick up everything, yeah. It's more designed for just, weapons.
In other words, you
of that
can adjust
nature.
the sensitivity to pick up just about everything, or the main things that you're looking for, which is weapons and guns.
Right.
Heavy
It
duty.
has a wide range, it just depends on what you're wanting to capture.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you all so much for the presentation, and we will be getting back with you through Dr. Tiller and the administration very, very soon. All right.
I'd like to share that we have developed 3 different calendars for consideration for school year 24-25. We're going to have the teacher cabinet, which is made up of the teachers of the year from each school. They will come together, and we will review those calendars with them. And then what I'll ask is that they take it back and present it at their faculty meeting in their schools, and then they will let their staff take a vote, and then they'll bring that back to the table. And that way, all of our teachers have the opportunity to see the calendars as well and support staff, and they can weigh in on it. And because a lot of times they'll see things that we might miss. So that's the plan for the academic calendars. Just wanted to share that. And then once they have come to consensus, then of course I'll bring that back to the board.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's what you would look for, Ms. Pruitt?
Yeah, I would really like to see how the parents feel also, if we could send a survey out to them, how they liked the modified calendar, if they liked it or if they didn't. Maybe we can send a survey out to them.
Yeah, okay, that's not a problem.
Thank you.
Mr. Benjamin?
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing
How you
well.
doing, Benjamin?
Mr. Coachman, Chairman, Dr. Tiller, board members. Tonight I will be presenting 3 items. If you would, please face the screen to your rear. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. I will be presenting the Marlboro County School District Board Budget Calendar for fiscal year 2024-2025. February the 5th, 2024, a board to approve budget calendar at regular board meeting. March the 4th, 2024, board work session on facility and bond financing consideration and millage. Invitation extended to district's bond council. March 19th, 2024,
board work session on student populations, school and district staffing, full-time employees, configuration, human resources, and financial consideration of staffing and contractual services. April the 15th, 2024, certified recommendations will be presented for board approval. Administrative and certified contracts issued with the due date of May the 10th, 2024. On April the 22nd, 2024, first budget workshop / first reading of the budget. May the 6th, 2024, board approves advertisement for first reading and public hearing at regular meeting. Classified agreements issued with a due date of May 24th, 2024. On May the 20th, 2024, second budget workshop. Board also approves classified listing and notice of intent to employ. Public notice for public hearing and first reading of fiscal year 2024-2025 budget in Marlboro Herald. June the 3rd, 2024, public hearing and first reading. June 10th, 2024, second reading. And June 17th, 2024. Please note that the budget meeting dates are subject to change based upon information received as it pertains to the budget. Are there any questions as it pertains to the budget calendar?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Next slide, please. Give me 1 second, I left my paper. At this time, I will do a brief presentation concerning school district finance and budget orientation. If you will, please move to the next slide. Just a breakdown of district finance for those that aren't aware how the school district works as it relates to financing. I know we have some folks that have been in the school district for several years and they have experience, but I just want to do a refresher and do a brief orientation to prepare everyone for the upcoming budget preparation. We can move to the next slide. First, I want to start out discussing school funding, the school district funds. We have 5 listed. Your general funds, this is the main operating fund. School revenue, pupil activity, and education improvement act fund. These are your federal and state funds. These are designated for specific purposes. Your debt service fund. These funds are set aside to pay your interest and your principal on your long-term obligated debts. School building fund are allocated for construction, repair, renovation, and acquisition of school facilities. And lastly, your food service fund. These are for your USDA-approved school breakfast and lunch programs. A lot of our faculty and staff, they have the opportunity to purchase breakfast and lunch from the cafeteria. And we also have some a la carte items that some of the students, mainly at the high school, they have the opportunity to purchase Gatorade, chips, and cookies, and any other smart snack item that is deemed smart snack by the South Carolina Department of Education. Next slide, please. Next, we have the local funds, local revenue. This consists of your property taxes, personal property taxes, non-owner occupied property, and businesses. The main factors are based upon the millage rate, the assessed property value, and the county collection rate. Fee in lieu of taxes, fee received on the negotiated agreement in the place of taxes that would have been collected for the taxpayer. Your tuition, summer school, and out of district, and interest income. State revenue, you have your local residential property tax relief, Tier 1, homestead exemption, Tier 2, state sales tax reimbursement for property tax relief, Act 388, merchants inventory, manufacturers depreciation reimbursement, motor carrier, and transfers and indirect costs. We also have the federal revenue, your title programs 1 through 5, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, also known as IDEA, Perkins. This is with our CATE department, Career and Technology Education.
United States Department of Agriculture, our food service, elementary and secondary school education relief, also known as ESSER, and of course, ESSER funds will be completed the rest of the year. There will be no more additional ESSER funds available, and we also have grants. Additional funding will come from borrowing through our general obligation bonds to finance construction projects, and with the borrowing, it's limited to 8% of the district total assessed property value. Next slide. Okay, any questions as it relates to funding for the school district?
Can you tell where we're at right now with our fund balance?
Fund balance is 12 million. I can't remember the exact number, but I didn't write it down, but it's around
That's
12
close
million.
enough.
Yes, sir.
That's close enough.
Yes, sir.
You got it. That'll work.
Okay, moving to the next section, we'll be discussing getting prepared for the budget. The general fund, as stated before, this is the main operating fund for the district. All your revenues flow through the general fund, your local property tax, state funding, Act 388, and your interest income, as well as your expenditures, salaries, and fringe benefits. Basically, the main things that help to operate the school district. And if you look below the pie chart, these are your percentages for fiscal year 23-24. 84% is mainly for our salaries and fringe benefits. That takes care of our salary for our teachers, administrators for the district. 10% for supplies, 10% purchase services. Then you have 5% for supplies, and then 1% in your others category. Next slide. As it relates to the general fund, here's some responsibilities we need to be aware of. The fiscal year starts the school district from July 1st through June 30th. The school board is responsible for approving the general fund budget by June the 30th of each year. And also the district must hold a public hearing on the budget each year, and the notice has to be given at least 15 days prior to the board meeting. Some practices for building the budget. We want to make sure we follow the legislative process very closely. Those folks in Columbia will definitely listen closer to what they're saying and what's going on, so we'll know how we need to move forward with preparing the budget. Take account for non-recurring funds for future expenses. Develop a budget calendar. Meet with stakeholders. Consider enrollment projections. And make sure you consider your start time. You can always start planning. It's better to start sooner than later. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to start after the completion of the audit. More facts to consider for our fund balance. The fund balance is referred to as a reserve. It's the accumulation of revenue and expenditures. It's not a bank or cash balance. A lot of people may get confused, think the school district has millions of dollars sitting in the bank account. That is not true. And of course, the Government Finance Officer Association recommends a reserve balance of 5 to 15%, or at least 2 months of operating expense to cover your expenditures.
Question.
Yes, sir.
What's $12 million? What's the percentage of $12 million? I know you said we had to have between 5 and how much percent?
5 to 15.
Okay, how much is 12 million? What percentage is that?
We are a little over 30%.
We're over 30%?
Yes, sir. So we're well over the 5 to 15%.
You're doing all right, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
A healthy fund balance. Prepare for significant emergency or unanticipated expenditures. Flexibility for non-recurring discretionary funding needs. Cover potential shortfalls in revenue due to unforeseen circumstances, such as budget cuts. And always be aware of your cash flow throughout the year. We are not in the business of, like your normal businesses where they have invoices that you send out. We have cash flow that comes in throughout the course of the year, so we have to maintain and be wise and to make sure we pay attention as how the cash flow comes in throughout the year. Comparison to other districts, we have to keep this in mind. Are we in a high or low income area? Student population, is it growing or shrinking? The age of the buildings, tax base, millage expected to increase or remain the same? exceptional learning population, and our bond debt. Final thoughts, plan, communicate with key staff, understand our district and community, and trust that the right thing will be done. School finance and preparing for the budget.
Anybody got any questions for Mr. Moses? At this time? If there aren't any questions, must be handling things pretty good, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for a good job.
Yes, sir. One final thing, I have the financial report. You all should have received that already. Ms. Cribb, with your packets. It's not on the screen, Mr. Coach, I'm sorry. What we like to do is basically with the expenditure report, show you the general fund, and we group the expenditures in a group because the report can be very lengthy, so we had to kind of group it together. But it basically shows you all the expenditures out of the group, out of the general fund. And at the very top right, it shows that we should be at a remaining percentage of 41%. And if you look at the bottom number at the very last page, it says that we are at 45%. So we are well within that.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any questions on the budget or finance report, but I do want to thank you for your timely response to the questions I asked last month. I do appreciate you giving me my answer real quick, so I do thank you.
Yes,
for the
sir.
work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I think we'll be needing that information.
Yes, sir.
You know, I had asked last month about our legal costs, and he did get the information to me.
Right. I want to thank the school district. I don't know who put all the signs out for School Board or Wellness Month in all the board members' yards. But we got a lot of good feedback from a lot of people in the community wanting to know what the signs stood for in our yards. Well, during the time, I didn't have much sight, so I didn't even know I had a sign in my yard. But and people were blowing their horns at my sign. So whoever put this sign in my yard, I think you appreciate it. Made me get out the bed and walk to the door and see who blowing the horn out in my yard. What you running for now? I ain't running for nothing. I don't know what's going on. But we really appreciate it. We appreciate the basket on tonight. I don't see a couple of baskets. I must not been here the other night to get this basket, the one I left behind. Thank you so much for a great January School Board Appreciation Month. Dr. Tilly, you got anything else?
No, sir, that ends our report.
All right. Ms. Sweat, what you think about things?
I think it's going good.
Mr. Flowers, you want to take us home tonight?
I'm ready.
You ready?
All right.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, I got a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, let it be known by raising your right hand. Meeting is adjourned.